Without a doubt, Bluey is one of the biggest hits in the world of animated series in recent years. But did you know that this amazing show about the little blue dog has been referenced in several other programs, such as Abbott Elementary and even The Simpsons? Let's kick things off with an awesome reference inside the most famous cartoon of all time, The Simpsons. This reference happened in a special episode where several Disney characters, Disney also owns The Simpsons, make an appearance in Springfield. This episode aired in 2021 and featured a memorable scene that's a real gem for Bluey fans. In the scene, we see Homer trying to enter Moe's tavern. As usual, this time, Maui from Moana and Ralph from Wreck-It Ralph are acting as bouncers at the door. However, Homer insists that he is now a major Disney star and tries to convince Maleficent to let him in. In a curious detail, Maleficent is holding a tablet displaying the guest list of those allowed to attend the party. And guess who's on the list? That's right, Bluey, alongside other incredible characters like Pinocchio, Luca, and even Thanos, the big villain from the Avengers. This reference is amazing and went unnoticed by most people. But it does make you wonder, what would Bluey be doing in an adults-only bar? Maybe she was just there to sip on some watermelon juice or something, right? We still have so much more to explore. So stick with us at Bluey's World to discover more connections between Bluey and other universes. Now, get ready to check out the 8 unforgettable moments where Bluey appeared in other shows and series. Let's dive into more mysteries from the incredible Bluey's World. Now, let's talk about a super fun reference that features the actual Bluey characters. In Abbott Elementary, a comedy series about teachers at a Philadelphia school, we see a hilarious homage to the little blue dog in the 4th episode of season 2. In this episode, one of the kids, a boy named Micah, is completely obsessed with a certain animated show. And of course, we all know which show it is, Bluey. The boy not only mentions Bingo's name several times but also quotes lines from the show while wearing a hoodie with the Healer sisters on it. And if you're a fan of Everybody Hates Chris, you'll love knowing that the actor who played Chris now stars as one of the teachers in the show, kind of taking over Calypso's role as a guide for the kids. Micah even starts singing the Bluey opening theme song out loud. To handle the situation, the teacher comes up with the brilliant idea of sticking Bluey stickers on the board so the boy can focus on them while he regains control of the classroom.
Bingo, 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 bingo.
Bluey.
Let's move on to an Australian live-action series that brought a rather curious reference to the Bluey universe. We're talking about Mr. In-Between, a dark comedy drama that included an unexpected nod to the Healer family show during a prison scene. While the characters are in the prison cafeteria, one of the inmates decides to change the TV channel and puts on the episode Magic Xylophone, the very first episode of Bluey Season 1. Apparently, even behind bars, the little blue dog has her loyal audience. The problem is that this causes a conflict between the prisoners. One of them wants to keep watching football, but the other, who's much bigger and clearly stronger, insists on keeping Bluey on. And guess what? The bigger guy wins the argument, and the TV stays tuned to the animated show. This detail shows that the love for Bluey knows no bounds, age, location, or even situation. And let's be honest, it's hard to judge someone for wanting to watch Bluey, even in prison. After all, who doesn't love a good dose of cuteness and humor? Do you also think watching the Little Blue Dog show is always a good idea? Then drop a comment below saying, BLUEY. Now let's talk about one of the most amazing children's series of all time, My Little Pony. Not only is it a show loved by generations, but it's also a franchise that spans popular toys and comics. And it's in the comics that we find a super fun reference to Bluey. In issue 20 of the comic series My Little Pony, A New Generation, released in December 2023, there's a very special moment. In a chapter titled The Great Pony Identity Crisis, the character Pip is shown scrolling through her phone. During a conversation with Zip, she shows a funny video she's watching. If you pay close attention to the screen, you'll notice that the video is a parody of Bluey, but with ponies as the main characters. If you look closely, you'll notice that the larger pony has a dark blue patch on their head, while their yellow belly is visible under an apron. These characteristics are a clear reference to Bandit, Bluey's dad. Meanwhile, the smaller pony holding a ketchup bottle has light blue fur with blue-purple patches on their head, closely resembling Bluey herself. It's undeniable that the influence of our little blue dog crosses into different universes. This is a fun reference that undoubtedly left many fans smiling. Speaking of different universes, let's dive into a sci-fi series that's a sibling to The Simpsons, Futurama. Created by the same genius, Matt Groening, this futuristic animation paid a bold homage to Bluey in the first episode of its 11th season, which aired in 2023. In this episode, Fry decides that his new purpose in life will be to watch every TV show ever created. During one scene, Bender quickly scrolls through various TV shows and movies displayed on the screen. Among the many references to famous series, such as The Simpsons, a modified version of The Simpsons, there's something that no Bluey fan would miss. In the corner of the screen, we see the title of a fictional movie called Alien vs. Predator vs. Bluey. For those unfamiliar, Alien vs. Predator is a classic from the 2000s that brought together two of the biggest sci-fi franchises from the 80s and 90s. The idea of including Bluey in a sequel to this saga is both hilarious and absurd, perfectly matching Futurama's humor. After all, What could be more futuristic than imagining a 6-year-old blue dog taking on two of cinema's most iconic monsters? Truly, a reference that's impossible to overlook. Lastly, let's talk about the reboot of one of Disney's most beloved shows from the 90s, DuckTales. In the 6th episode of the 2nd season, which aired between 2018 and 2019, there's a direct reference to Bluey that deserves a spotlight. The episode delves into Uncle Donald's Christmas past, where Dewey travels back in time and meets a younger version of Donald. However, instead of finding a lively and energetic youth, he encounters an emo and lonely kid, as Dewey himself describes, who's attempting to play guitar in his room. When the young Donald is caught off guard, he asks Dewey who he is and what he saw. Without missing a beat, Dewey quickly invents that he's a distant relative and introduces himself as Bluey. This reference is particularly interesting because Donald from the past obviously wouldn't know about the show that takes place in the future. Plus, it fits perfectly with Dewey, who always wears blue. A small detail, but one that makes a big difference for the most observant fans. If you also love discovering these references and Easter eggs in animated shows, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new details about Bluey and other amazing series.
My name is Bluey.
Let's start by talking about a super creative reference to Bluey in a collectible toy. The famous company Wacky Packages, active since 1967, is globally recognized for its incredible stickers. They produce highly sought-after cards, such as the classic baseball ones, which are a staple for collectors. The charm of Wacky Packages cards lies in their clever wordplay on famous brands, creating an irresistible humorous twist. In 2023, they decided to play with the name Bluey by releasing a hilarious sticker that won over fans of the show. The sticker shows Bluey and Bingo hugging adorably. At the top of the image, the word Gluey cleverly plays off the protagonist's name. But it doesn't stop there. To complete the humorous touch, the character is depicted as if she's covered in glue. This is yet another example of how Bluey's impact extends far beyond the screen, reaching into the world of toys and collectibles with style and creativity. Now it's time to talk about a hilarious scene from the comedy show Studio C, aired by BYU TV in the United States. For those unfamiliar, Studio C is a super fun show now in its 17th season and is rated family-friendly. Known for its lighthearted and creative content, the show surprised fans in March 2024 by including a reference to Bluey, specifically to the beloved episode Sleepy Time. The scene begins with 3 burglars breaking into a house at night. However, their plan goes off the rails when one of them steps on the remote control, accidentally turning on the TV. And guess what starts playing? An episode of Bluey. While one of the burglars has no idea what it is, another immediately reveals himself to be a huge fan of the little blue dog in the show. They begin a heated argument about how children's cartoons can also be enjoyed by adults. But things get even funnier when the 3rd burglar shows up. He's also a Bluey fan, and his passion for the episode Sleepy Time is so intense that he has a tattoo of Floppy, Bingo's stuffed bunny, that represents her growth into a more mature child. In the end, the burglars end up getting arrested because, instead of escaping, they decide to stay and watch the rest of the episode. To make things even funnier, the 2 police officers who arrive to arrest them also turn out to be massive Bluey fans. This just goes to show that the Healer family has captured hearts worldwide, even in the most unexpected situations.
It's a dramedy about marriage, co-parenting, and the importance of play that just happens to take place inside of a children's television program.
Once again, we see how Bluey has become a global phenomenon that captures audiences of all ages. Whether you're in a house, a TV studio, or even prison, the Healer family always finds a way to bring people together. We're leaving 2 video suggestions on your screen so you can keep having fun with us here on the channel. Click on your favorite and enjoy. Thanks, and see you soon.